Okay, so we're holding today, learning Chulin Daf Peches. And we're going to be starting the bottom of Daf Zayin with base. The Gemara says, we're going to start 5 lines to the bottom of the Amud. Maybe just to mention one thing in the previous line. The Gemara says, maybe a line before, if you're in Difti Omar, Anushkars Vudika Kazais, we're talking about what we're talking about at Salalto de Modam. Salalto de Damo. Salalto de Damo is the clear part of the blood, which looks like water. So the din is that doesn't have a din of water completely, of water. It's like blood, but only as much as it has red to it. As Tais puts out over here, that if there is chiyuv chorus on Salalto de Damo, but only if there is a revis red color. It also causes too much oil when you have blood. So it has too much mace. If you have revis of red in that Salalto de Damo. No, so the Gemara said before, Salalto de Damo is not machshir. Because it's not water and it's not blood. Unless it's red. Says the Gemara, Tanan also. Kol mashke hames tehoirim chutz midamu. Everything in the liquid of the mace, it is tar, except for his blood. Any other liquid by the mace is not tar. Anything that looks red, metam beoil. Similar to what we said before, Salalto de Damo, if it has the red color, it makes tomas oil. Says the Gemara, mashke hames tar. You want to tell me any liquid coming from the mace is tar? Feminu brings a question. Mashke tvul yoim. The liquid of a tvul yoim, anything that he has, any type of any water that he has. The din is kimashkim shenagya b'em, as if he touched him, has a din of a tumah of mashke. The Rabbanan said when you touch a mashke, it becomes rishon l'tumah. Says the Gemara Pichas with Aleph, ve'elu ain't netamim. They both don't cause tumah, meaning it's not the. So it has a din that he touched it. But the Rabbanon did not go. The mashke yotze meno is as if considered to be that he touched it, but it doesn't cause tumah. It doesn't transfer tumah on. It doesn't transfer tumah on. What? No, so it's the mashke is possible. The mashke becomes possible itself, but it doesn't transfer tumah. Okay, so the she'elu mitamin, the shar kol atmein, any other tumus, bein kolim and chamurim, doesn't matter if it's kal or it's chamer, mashka yoytze mehem ke mashka ne'egeh behem, ve'elu tchilo. And all the other tumus that you have, so the mashka will be tome, meaning we'll have a din of tumah, chutz min a mashke shu'av tumah. Except from the mashke of tumah, meaning except when we're talking about the mashke of azov, any liquid of azov, his saliva, his urine, mashke of azov is avatumah. But if you exclude that, anything else is like something that he touched. So it's different. It's miyuchod. It's not the same exact thing. Mashke azov that he has the avatumah. That's a special tumah. Mashenkin, we're talking about the mashke that any other mashke that we have. No, we're talking about. So we was going to ask who we're talking about. The chur now mashke azov. Any other mashke that comes out from a tumah has a din of tumah. Not like mashke azov, which is avatumah. He has a din of rishon tumah. Any other mashke. So except the category of avatumah, and the other liquid is rishon tumah. So my choline, my chamor. What's kal v'chomer? My choline sheretz, tumah that comes out of sheretz, liquid of a sheretz, has a din of rishon tumah. V'zav, that's also the kalim. V'chamur mace. So you see a liquid of a mace does have a din of rishon tumah. Says the Gemara Lord, kalim sheretz, chamurim zav. Kalim is a sheretz and the chamurim is a zav. that not including the minor sazav. Minor sazav, like we said before, that is the Rashi brings the gimel minor sazav. It's the zoivoy roikoi mei raglav, saliva, urine, and the other afrashas that he has is zivo. Every other mashke, let's say he has any other liquids coming, for example, sweat that comes to us up, he had an additional tumor. Same thing by the sherets. But by mace, no. Mace doesn't have an additional tumor. So the Gemara says, more in the beginning, when they say, my love, calling sherets and zav, chamur mace, look, kalim sherets, chamur zav. Sherets and zav, you say that the mashke that comes out of them has an additional tumor. But mace, no. So when maishto zov goes where abonon, maishto mace goes where abonon, what's the difference? Why zov you say has a din of rishon tumor, rabbonon goes a tumor, and by mace not. Says the Gemara, zov the libdili sheminei goes where abonon. Mace the libdili sheminei goes where abonon. Zav people will get away from it, and mace people will get away from it. So therefore, rabbonon will go there the mashkas because of gzeiro. So you'll come to touch the zav itself. To say all the mashkas also have a din of rishon tumor. But mace, people don't get close to a mace, so they're not going to tumor. So this rishon tumor that we have is an indirabbanon. Tais asks, what about the fact that they touch the mace? Right? Any mace has din of yav tumor. Anything they touch the mace is rishon tumor. Tell me the minus, the liquids that go in the mace don't have a din of rishon tumor. What about the fact that they touch the mace? So Tais says, talk about they took a shofar, they took like a little tube and took the liquid out without the liquid touching the actual mace. So that's why maybe it should be. That's why it doesn't have tumor. Midaraisa. Only tumor derabanan should have. Once you don't have tumor derabanan in that case. Yes. Once it touches the actual mace will. Okay, so that was really a conclusion of the previous stuff. We mentioned the idea of tumor space. It's not to the domo, so we mentioned this as well. Say, okay, let's go on. So holding here in that Yechezkel mudal on the two dots, the Gemara says damat mitos shal sakin. Learning the Mishnah that if you have blood that spritzes out during the shchita or the blood on the knife, so that doesn't have a din. So that does that have kisur adam or not? Machlekes Rabbanan say you do have to have kisur adam on there as well. And Buddha says you don't have to. So more now goes and explains the machlekes. Blood that spritzed out or on the knife. That's Rabbanan's shita. That's the only blood that you have. Other blood got lost, or I don't know what happened to it. There's other blood. Why? Because the Buddha holds that you don't have to be mechase. We mentioned on the daf of Shabbos. You don't have to be mechase all blood. Mechase only some of the blood. You don't have to do the whole thing. Tanya, there's another brayso. To cover all the blood. Kanamru damanitos, if they have a blood that spits out. Al-gapayim means when it went into the body. You have to cover all the blood. That's only being covered down. Dam nefesh is the bloodshed. There's a certain color of red. That's what Rabbanan called dam nefesh. You have to cover the blood, which is called ivarim. Other blood, other colors of blood in the animal, you don't have to do. What's the machlekes? So you have three shitas. You have a Rabbanan that said everything. You have Yehuda that said some of it. You have Rav Shimon Gamliel that says only dam nefesh. So the Gemara says Rabbanan savi domoy kol domoy, all blood. Yehuda sova domoy filimitzas domoy, some of the blood. Shimon Gamliel sova domoy miyucho dam nefesh. Machlekes, what exactly you have to be mechase? So the Mishnah. It's interesting. We live in Shabbos. People are asking this question like a few times. What can you use to cover the blood? The Mishnah tells us, help me out a little with the article. Mechasim bezevel hadak. Zevel hadak is right, small pieces of manure, thin. Ubichoil hadak, thin sand, seed, plaster, or some kind of, cut into pieces. Uvicharosis lavana, some white, also to have plaster. Uvimigufo shekotshon, or you have the top of the barrel, the seal of the barrel that was grinded. You can't cover with something which is thick and doesn't mix with it. Thick sand. Or you have the plaster or seal that you did not grind. Levano is a type of plaster, I think. I don't know what do articles say. Levano? Levano is more like a brick. Brick. You can't just put a kli on top of it. In other words, the way you do kisui, that's what Rashi points out later in the Gemara, is it has to be mixed in it. It's like sand mixed in blood. You can't just put something on top. Cover it. Oh, it's covered. No, it has to be a mix, like sand that covers and goes into it and is mixed in it. Yeah. Shimon Gamliel says it needs to be something which you can plant in it. It's a material that you can use to plant it. And it should grow. So we'll see in the Gemara what exactly is coming to our which one. There's some materials he's not going to agree you can use. Says the Gemara, what's the case? There's no need to grind it. Some say the next part of the Mishnah. Coil, the sand which is thick, what is it? That he needs to go and grind it. What's the difference between if you say in the ratio on the sefer? It's you need, but you don't really need. In other words, you don't really need to grind it. It's easy to go and do it. So if you come and say lishtekamo ain't sorry, I don't have to grind it. No grinding at all. Not get involved in all and putting it into pieces. But when it says that tzorich is a problem, I don't really need. It's easy to crumble it. So then it's not a problem. So the ratio, if you say on the ratio, you're more machmir, and the safe you're more makel. Say what you have to cover the blood. You can use stone. You cover with kli. Has to be davka offer. The small piece of manure or small pieces of sand. Grinded stones. Clay. Small pieces of flax. Base. Rashi says that the carpenter takes out like little pieces of saw. He takes out the seed, the charosis levano. So he mentioned this that plasters umigufo or velaveno. Either levano or velaveno. Umigufa shikacham, or where she grind the seal of the barrel. Told the chiso, you had everything else. Thing which is thicker. Now the Brisa adds one more thing here. The shrika claim atakas, this we didn't see in the Mishnah. Using metal that you grinded, which cannot grow. It's not like a sand you can grow. You have your brick or the seal of the barrel that you did not grind. The kemak v'subin umurson, talk about flour or thick flour, a bran, umurson, which is the dirt, the peel. Or that goes on the wheat. Talmud loyma be'ofer. This be'ofer has to be tavka sand. How do I know what to add, what not to add? Has to be something which is mean offer, which means they could grow. It's like a type of sand. Someone who said, offer prat. You have a rule in the detail, you have to go with the detail. So the rule needs the detail. What does it mean the rule needs the detail? So Rashi learns the reason why you have klal tzaraprat, because when you say the klal, chiso, I don't know what it's referring to. Chiso with what? Right? Could it maybe means to put the kli on top of it? I don't know. So I have to come and explain what I mean. That's called klal tzorich leprat. When do I say that the klal ain't tzorich leprat? So he brings an example. He says if let's say you have one klal includes many things. If you go now, you steal, it can steal everything. Then they come and tell you, no, not everything. That's a prat. When I say kisor, I don't know what you mean. That's a klal tzorich leprat. So Rashi is telling us a little definition. When I'm not so sure what you're referring to, then it's klal tzorich leprat. when I understand it means everything, and you want to exclude something, the klal she'ein tzorich l'prat. That's how Rashi goes. Tais disagrees. Tais says no. That's that's means klal means everything, and prat means only one. He disagrees. So he says Dim Shat that because klal and tzorich l'prat is you need each other. Each one of them, the klal needs the prat, and the prat needs the klal. Why? So he says, he brings over here. He says, the end of Tosis in the bottom, towards the first narrow line and wide lines, middle wide lines. And when Tana Farish talk about Choshu Klal Prat Gomur Kohen Be'almo, he goes to explain the different prat by Pchoris, which is a different sugya. He says, if you go 3 lines down, now it kvias kli. When it says be'offer, that's why you know you have to cover it below and above. So it's a new detail. Another you do the klal prat. The klal prat gives you a list. But how do I do the kisui? I don't know if it's chisoi. Be'offer tells you cover it above and below. So the klal needs the prat. The klal needs the prat to teach you the details. Nothing to do with the list. So the different ways. But the more understands over here, this klal is not called klal prat because the klal needs the prat. Says that's something you planted it and it grows. I don't like this prat. You need to be something that grows. Why you don't like it? Rashi says the burcha means that it's einu ikar. They said, why not? I learned from the following brayso. He goes in the desert, he doesn't have what to cover with. He goes and he grinds a golden coin. He's going in the boat, he doesn't have sand. So he uses the ashes to cover it. Instead, he can use ashes because Efer and Offer, interchangeable. Rashi brings, how do I know the Efer is called Offer? Because it says Offer Streifas Achatos. When it speaks about the burning of the Paraduma, it calls it Offer, and really it's Efer. Really it's ashes. The Pasuk calls gold Afar Zov. So it's special Sakosov that a gold has a bit of sand. But usually not. And what's the rhyme from here? He's going in the desert. What's the problem? Just use the sand in the desert. The sand in the desert is not matzmiach. You can't grow anything in the sand in the desert. So therefore you can't use the sand in the desert. That's why it has to be matzmiach. It has to be something that grows. Shaila, if he's arguing the previous Gemara or not, the Pasha says yes, because the Gemara before said you can use metal. So the you can use metal. Shaila, is he arguing not? Tosis Mashi is not arguing. So the discussion here if he's arguing not. Shama says you have to use sand only, earth only. You can use also ashes. Ashes is also called offer. It's called offer streifel. Not called. It says offer streifel zachatos. So I'm calling it the sand of burn, a burnt sand. Don't just call it sand. That's what it is. Says about Tano Sipo Alem Hashachor VeHaKoil Fenikra Pisulim. Actually, the shachar means when you have coal, black coal, and koil is what you use for makeup. And Nikras Pisulim, Rashi says, is the sand that you take from the grinder. Keshamim Ap Hazarnich or ferment. What does the article say? What is the zarnich? You know it? Doesn't say. Different materials that you could add to the list. Okay. So, Tais learns a little differently, but same. Now the going goes into Agatas. What?
Yellow powder derived from arsenic and used as a feed.
Okay. Gavaldik. And I think the idea is that you could still grow with it. So it's in the list. Now the Gemara goes into Agata. We're just going to see the first part of the Agata to end the daf. He said, I'm sand and ashes. Zochu bonov l'shtei mitzvahs. Efer paro b'afa soito. They got the mitzvah of paraduma and the mitzvah of offer soito. Says the Gemara, v'lich shavnami offer kisu adam. What about kisu adam? Also, extra mitzvah iko ano leko. Here, kisu adam is only extra mitzvah. There's no. Why? What happens if you didn't cover? you're still able to enjoy the shechita. It's a mitzvah. Sheikin, where you offer paradumo, able to benefit, and now a person becomes star. You have a saito because Muteras the Bailo. That's a real hana, and that's considered to be that Avraham Avinu was zoichet to offer veifer to mitzvah to give you hana in this world. The Maharal goes on to say that offer an eifer is showing a union of a nova, of a nothing. And the chiddush is that you're taking offer an eifer, and you're taking that, something which is a nothing, and creating something out of it. Taking the offer, and you're making offers of zachatos. Taking the eifer, and you have the you have the eifer of the chatos, you have the offer of the saito. You're taking something which is like a nothing and creating a nothing, created Am Yisrael. So we got a mitzvahs they're taking from nothing and creating something. The beautiful Beis Halevi, Parshat Vayeshev, he says, however, the difference is offer has only offers that has the future. There's nothing there, it's sand. But with the sand, you can go, you can plant with it, you can build with it, has a very bright future. Afer has only a past. So destroyed, it was burned. That's what it is. So offer for Afer is Afer has only past, no future. And offer has only future and no past. And the idea is it doesn't have the whole thing. When we have bringing in the offer of Afer, he goes on to explain it. You have the offer of Saitos to come in, the Saitos to come and give it a future. Paradumas to end the tumor that was till now, but we're having something which doesn't have a full thing. We're creating something out of it. Just maybe to conclude, Hadoichi offer v'hefer. Like I heard from Moshe Shapir Zatzal in the name of the Gevul Binyamin. Gevul Binyamin was a Talmud of the Ramchal. He said, Avraham Avinu said, Anochi offer v'hefer. Why? What is that? Offer is ayin par, shivim par. We bring in sukkahs, and Efer is echad par. The Am Yisrael brings on Shmini Atzeres. So you have offer of Efer is how Am Yisrael, all the Umm independent Am Yisrael, you have the one par, which is Am Yisrael, the kid from Avraham Avinu. So this we conclude the daf today. Be'ez Hashem continue from here tomorrow night.